PR Connections Radio presents.
Hey guys, it's Basma. I'm your host for the Business of Giving show. Have you ever wondered what exactly businesses are doing for the community? So have I. So join me every Saturday at 3 p.m. live, where you can ask your questions and get to know me as well as our special guest every single week. If you miss it, don't worry about it. Go to transistor.fm and listen to our radio show, where you can hear cool stories about what's going on, and also causemarketingchamber.com, where you can get involved just like me.
Hello, how are you today? We have Evelyn Pacheco here. She is a woman of history. She's going to tell us today about her journey, her achievements, and her work here in Nevada, as well as outside of Nevada, because I know you're doing some national stuff, aren't you, today? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hello, and first of all, thank you for having me on here. This is important, and I'm just stoked to be on here today. And just thank you again. And my name is Evelyn Pacheco, Nevada Women in Trades.
I love what we're about to talk about today. She's got so much to share with us, a vast amount of knowledge. And to begin, though, I'd love to talk more about your personal journey and how you've gotten to the point that you've gotten to now. Go ahead and let everybody know, because I want to know more about your the story of what got you into plumbing and your journey to becoming Nevada's first licensed Black female plumber. But also on top of that, I know that a lot of people already know about this story because it's like all over the news. It was all over the news at one point. So if you want to talk about more about your motivations for pursuing your careers and trade and other things related to those things, because I know plumbing wasn't really something you were really going for, but it ended up finding you, right? And then it ended up showing your hard work and dedication. But go ahead and talk more about that. Sorry.
Yes, true. And all the points, you hit them all. Beautiful. It's something because my background is secretary. That was my background. I went into the military, Army veteran, hoorah to all the Army vets out there. And got out of the military, wasn't even thinking about military anymore. And like I said, started a path going to college as business administration and did business administration, end up leaving Minnesota, coming here to this beautiful town of Vegas, and end up working with Cox Cable. Had a friend in Cox Cable that said, hey, Fitzgerald is hiring in the maintenance department. Why don't you go check it out? And I'm like, I don't know, So I went over there to Fitzgerald, which is not Mr. D's, y'all. It's Mr. D's down on Fremont. And Gene Sagas was the engineering department director, right? And we're sitting there and he's like, yeah, I got maintenance job in here. You would do like room calls for the rooms. You would do plumbing, electrical, HVAC, get your boilers license, all of that. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, oh, hell no. Ooh, can I say hell on here? And I was like, oh no. You know what I mean? Like,
that does not sound very appetizing. Or
no, like you're talking to somebody that does secretary stuff, right? And you're telling me that I'm getting ready to do plumbing, electrical. I'm like, no. And he's like, no, this would be great, And I'm like, well, the only type of trades that I did was with my stepdad in the summertime. I helped him paint the house, right? I'm like, that's it, right? I can do that. He's like, no, this is what you're going to do. And I'm like, no, because I'm arguing with him like, no. And he says, well, if you don't do it, I'm not going to hire you. I was like, no way, right? And the amount that I was going to get per hour, like doubled in what I was already making, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, wait a minute, right? My kids, my this. It was like, oh my gosh. So I said, okay, I'll do it. Jumped off that cliff, right? I said, okay, I'll do it.
All right,
I end up loving it. It was like, oh my gosh, went in to learn how to do the plumbing, and it was exciting and interesting. And so a year went by, and one of the ladies in housekeeping came to me and said her husband, Ernie, was in the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union as an apprentice, and I should go do that. And I'm like, again, self-doubting myself, right? Because that's what we do, right?
Right.
We
We're unsure about when we jump into it.
isn't that how we do it as females? We're always second guessing ourselves, everybody. And so I'm telling you, females out there listening, stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I'll tell them too. Stop it.
That's right. Stop it.
Tell me too, honestly. Stop it.
Stop it. And I told her, I was like, I don't know if I can do that, you know? And she goes, well, you're already doing, you know, the plumbing, the this and that. I said, yeah, but being in the Plumbers and Pipefitters Union, that's a whole different ball game, right? That's outside, that's commercial, that's this, that's that. So her husband, like I said, came and talked to me at Fitzgerald, and I was like, okay. So I went over there, took the test, and I'll never forget Don Johnson, who was the first year instructor, who was very, very supportive and still is to this day. Don Johnson of 525 is still very much a supporter of what I'm doing. And he's like, yeah, you can do this. And so I passed the test, and then you get the little letter, right, saying that you are going to not pass or pass, right? So I got the little letter that said, oh, you didn't, you know, we're not going to accept you. And I'm like, okay. So I went back to Fitzgerald working again, right? Okay, no hard, no whatever, right? Then 2 weeks later, I got a call saying, you're the luckiest person in Las Vegas. And I'm thinking, right? But I'm thinking, well, what's that though, right? What's the luck about? I just win, right? Because we're in Vegas, right? So I don't know. And he said, if you come down here by Wednesday and go take a drug test, and you'll be able to get into the Plumbers and Pipefitters Unit. And I'm just sitting there on the phone like, no way, right? And but I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. This is a Friday, and I have to Wednesday to do all this. And what am I going to tell Jean at Fitzgerald, right? Because that's not even, exactly, it's not even 2 week notice, right? And I don't want to burn bridges, you know what I'm saying? At that point, because I was doing really good at Fitzgerald, you know? Right. And so I called up Jean, and he's like, no, this is the opportunity. You need to take it. And you know what?
Oh, that's so supportive of him too.
Wasn't that though?
I love that. I just love those people too. They're just like, oh, this is your next journey. Go ahead. I'm super supportive of it. And then you're like, oh, you're proud of me? Okay, let's go to that next step. I can do this. It gives you that extra edge that you need to make that move.
Yes, because that person sees what you don't see. Yeah. Right. And we need people like that, whether male or female. And I've always said this, you know, we can't just I know I'm doing women in trades, but the men have to be along this journey too, because they're part of it. Right. And so I said, okay. And he says, you know what? If you don't make it, you can always come back to Fitzgerald. And I was like, thank you. Right. So each year, there were those 5 years in an apprenticeship. So each year I'd call Jean up and said, I passed the first year. I passed the second year. I passed the third year. And then we got to the fifth year where you take your journeyman's test to get your plumber's license and everything. And so, and then two, I have to add, while you're doing 5 years of apprenticeship, you're going to school 2 nights a week at night, y'all. And then you're working during the day. And sometimes you might have to work 6 days, 10 hours. And then you're raising a family on top of that. Right. So for 5 years, I did that. And I had a hysterectomy in between that.
No way. Like having the family by itself is just a lot of work. Because I know you're a family woman and you love your family, but then you also started a family of your own at the same time.
Yes.
I did not know that. That is amazing. That's wonderful.
Yes, because that's about it. Because you're with these people 5 years. Like you're with that class. You're on these jobs and everything. And so then, and when I took the test and everything, and then Don came up to me and said, "Well, I have something to tell you." And I'm like, "Okay." He says, "You're the first Black woman to pass the plumber's test." And I was like, "No way, Don. No way, right? Like, come on, and
I'm capable of that?
Right?
Just turn into that? What?
Right? Me? Like, no way, right?
Any type of achievement, it's always, especially when you're not expecting it, you're just like, whoa. And it opens your eyes to just like what you're actually capable of. So what exactly inspired you to start the Nevada Women of Trades, your organization?
And then that came with when I found out there was other women in trades. I found out there was other women in trades all over the United States. So there's women in trades like in Texas, Alaska, Chicago, Ohio, Oregon, Washington, West Virginia, Alaska, right? And I was like, well, wait a minute, there's not one here in Nevada. You know?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Was it that first achievement, that huge achievement that you accomplished that triggered you to start the organization?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
Yes, yeah. And I was told I couldn't do it.
What?
And
people in our ears.
I was told I couldn't do it. It already happened. You're not going to be able to do it. And I was not just men, but women told me that too, right? And then plus, I'm raising grandbabies that are going to grow up to be Black women. And I really believe that whatever's your God or your higher power gave me that label. And I was supposed to do something with it, right? I don't believe I got the first Black women for nothing. I don't think that was like, oh, we're gonna give this to you and you're just gonna sit on it.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely says it has a big impact on you. Like, wait, oh, I'm capable of even more than that, probably. Let's go find out. You know what I mean? So was that the biggest challenge? Or I'm sure you've gone through a lot of challenges, but what was the biggest challenge or some of the biggest challenges that you faced? You know, just like when you said people were kind of downing you and they were telling you can't do it. Was that like one of the biggest challenges that you went through, or was there even bigger challenges?
I think, again, having women not support what I'm doing, and it's not that it's just it's you know, because we're females and we feel things and all of that, and you always think when you have a good idea that everybody loves you, everybody loves the idea, and this makes sense, right? Why would you not want to help the underserved, underemployed women that are 80% or maybe even 90% head of household in Nevada, not help them to meet that other goal of being able to pay taxes and get a house and you know what I mean? You kind of like, wow, why would you not want to be on board with this?
And you were taking care of your family. Were you working as an apprentice at the time?
I had journeyed out. So I was apprentice for 5 years, and then I had journeyed out, and I journeyed out in 2007. Okay. And then I tried to reach out to other women in trades. And I think at that time it was kind of new with everything. So then I worked, and then I ended up retiring and raising the grandbaby. And then that's when it hit me like, wait a minute, I need to do something, right? So I need to get back.
Sorry. I know I keep interrupting you, but I was like, what motivated you? Because you said, I need to do something. What was that thing that made you say, I got to do something?
It was the grandbabies.
Oh, that's
It was the grandbabies. It was the grandbabies because I'm sitting here, 2018, retired. What am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm raising grandbabies. I'm doing the diaper thing, the puke thing, the bottle thing, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. I know this is not this. I know this is not how this ends, right? It doesn't end. It doesn't end with me doing diapers and cleaning puke and dirty diapers, right? It just can't be that.
So having the kids there, and they kind of, you know, because kids always say the darnest things, but they also say things that are really inspiring to us too, that get that motivation throughout our day to get that next point of our journey going. You know what I mean? So what stood out that was particularly challenging, that you navigated your way through it to get to that next point?
Patience.
Okay. All right.
Because I had to really, and then I had to realize, which is still something, I have to realize that I'm a trailblazer, right? I have to really realize what I'm doing out here, right? This is the first that's ever been done. This is every time I do something, it's the first or it's new, right? And I have to, I don't know. Again, I just, you start, because you know it's such a good thing and it's such a help, and you think everybody wants to be on board with this. How could you possibly be against something like this, right? But that's not true. Everybody's not happy for you. They're not.
Well, I think also what helped for you is that you were an Army veteran at one point. So that kind of taught you that patience, like that level of pushing through as well. Is there anything that influenced your career
Yes.
with that line of work as well?
I believe all of it has. I do. Because, not everybody can hit a wall and either go around it, go above it, go underneath it. Some people hit that wall and they stop, right? They stay stagnant. And not everybody can get marching orders and follow through. Some people need to go back and say, hey, but I was taught in the military, you don't go back and say, hey, nothing. You keep moving, you figure it out, and that's that.
Yeah, you find something and then you stick to it, and you don't, what's the word? You don't what?
Give up.
You told us that earlier. We won't stop. We are going to keep moving forward. I love it.
Yeah, real talk.
You're working on some cool projects right now. Would you like to talk about them, like the bill you just submitted recently?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I this bill was submitted like 4 years ago, right? Like 2 sessions ago. And so I heard about it through a really, really good mentor I have right now that's been mentoring me through a lot of this. And he was like, you should go and check out this bill. And I'm like, okay. He goes, no, you need to resubmit it. And I'm thinking, whatever, right? Like, yeah, right. I'm going to submit a bill. Are you kidding me? Right. So then, but then
why do you keep thinking these thoughts after a
I don't know why. Cause like, that's huge right there. You know what I mean? Submit a bill? Like, wait a minute.
Accomplished huge. You know what I mean? Like, we're going for bigger now. We're going for the even huger stuff. I don't know what's bigger than that, though. Making history is a pretty big thing.
Yeah. And then I have a lot of friends, and Dr. Sandra Cosgrove, and she's a good support, and Cesar, I had a lot of good close people that really supported me with this. And then I was talking with Assemblywoman Torres, and she was like, well, the session is almost over with, so let's just try it. So 2 years ago, the session was almost over with, and I tried it, but she couldn't get me on the dock. She couldn't get me to be able to talk in front of any of the committees and all that. And they just kind of said, we'll let the building trades take care of it. And I'm like, but this is not a building trades issue to get more women in the trades. This is something that needs to be a law, right? It needs to be engulfed in Nevada. We need to be doing this. But it fell through. But then this last session, I started working early. I started talking with people. I even went, and how it happened, I went to a women's veteran roundtable, and it was in North Las Vegas. And so all the North Las Vegas electives were there, and they had me talk for a few minutes, and they were talking about how many women were in the legislation and how Nevada has the most women in legislation. So I used that. Right. And I got on the floor and I said, if there's so many women that are up in legislation, then you should be able to help me pass this women law. Right. That's going to help women that get into trades. Right. Since there's so many women here. And so then after that, some of the senators, Spearman, Moreno, Assemblywoman Considine, they talked to me afterwards and said, OK, let's go for it. And I had to write it up, too. It's not just you just do it, right? You have to write the bill up. You have to submit it. You have to keep track of it. You have to talk back and forth with whoever's carrying the bill for you. And even Assemblywomen, Assemblywoman Torres, Considine, Moreno, and there's one more Assemblywoman that she helped too. She's running right now too. She'll come back to me. And so I had to keep up with all the Assembly women that were helping support the bill and all of that too, right? And then you got to go on in the, like, up in the session in there, right? When they start telling you when the bill's going to be talked about. I mean, it's a lot, y'all. It's not just, I'm going to submit this and I'm going to, Claire Thomas Sorry, I had to get her name. Clara Thomas, Assembly Women, Clara Thomas. Hey. And it's a lot to go with it, but it taught me a lot. But the military set in again, right? Because strategically, I had to keep up with everything. I had to talk with the senator. Then me and the grandbabies went up there to the session, and we advocated through the halls of all the assembly, all this. Yes, we took pictures. Oh my gosh.
That is such a moment to just remember together. You brought your family into it as well. And you're like, we're going to fight with this together. Let's go. I love it. And the support that you must have felt amazing that day.
It was beautiful. And to see my grandbabies testify in the Senate session was historic in itself. That's forever going to be there. That's not going to be removed.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you give credit to everybody involved. You're showing us how much actually goes into the process as well. Not only the steps, but there's an amount of people that also have to get involved to make something like that come to fruition. And then the motivation, like you said, to keep it going, to make sure that it goes through. And I know you asked for 5%, right? But you only got 2%. Yes.
I asked for 5%. I got 2. And it was interesting. I ended up, Senator Skip Daly called me, and that was interesting, right? I'm thinking, wait a minute. The senator's calling me to talk about the bill and to work with me to get it passed. I mean, it was so beautiful.
I love how grateful you are too. You're just like, wow, every single thing. You're not only passionate, it just shows your passion for it, really, but you're just like, okay, passion, and then every little step is like, I'm so grateful for this, thank you so much. It's beautiful,
because you have to stay humble with this, because it's not about me. Right? I'm just I'm the truck, right? That's all it is, right? I'm the person that's in the driver's seat, but it's about me, but it's not about me. You know what I'm saying?
It's your passion. You're starting it with what's inside of you. You're bringing it out. You're sending the message. You're giving us that motivation. You know what I mean? For everybody. So everyone involved, if you want to get something started, it starts with you. It starts with one person, and it turns.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really that real. And it's about advocacy. People try to mix political with this, and it's not that. It's civics, right? And it's easy. You find something that you want to, where it be mental health, homelessness, kids, whatever, right? And you find somebody that's working on that bill that interests you, and then you approach them and say, hey, next session, can you help me, or I help you push this? And that's how it starts. It's really. But it has to take dedication. It's not something that you just do and walk away from, right?
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. Like you said, that dedication, that's how important it is, because it's going to keep, if you don't keep going and you stop, then everything's going to stop with it, and you might as well lose something as well with it if you're going to stop. So that's why throughout those hard days, I'm sure that your family is the reason why you said that they are your biggest motivator, right? Because they're there with you throughout thick and thin. They're always going to be there for you and support you through it. So I love that you're a family woman. I love that so much. I really resonate with that.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I got my grandbabies tatted on my heart, and then I went and got a new tat that says "Ride or Diers" on there.
No way. I didn't know that. That's so. That really says, that's the statement right there. Just that is
right.
The whole statement.
Exactly. Ride or Diers, y'all.
I love that. The National Lines of Women Trade Summit. I want to make sure you get some time to talk about
some time for that too. Okay, so we started National Lines Women in Trades because to bring it on a national level, because we already have Nevada Women Trades, it's on a state, but national was to bring all the other states in, bring everybody in and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is empowering. Women do and are doing non-traditional careers. How do you support it? Here's some information. We have like a big, huge summit every year at CSN and Women's Alliance. CSN Women's Alliance, a partner. MGM Diversity is partner. Woo woo for MGM. NDOT, woo woo partnership too. Hi. So it's really, oh wow, so it's really exciting when you get Southwest that comes in, Nevada Energy that wants to be part of it, because this is what's happening here. Women do want to get into trades. Women don't mind getting their nails dirty, their hands dirty, right? I mean, we can do this. We're smart, right? And we're women, so that means we do 7 different things at 7 different times, right? That's how we operate, right?
Okay, I love it.
That's how we do, right?
She's
And
the business type girl for us. Let's go. She's
who's the
typing
boss? Who's the boss? And
what
then
do
I'm
we
also
do? We never stop. Let's go.
always keep it moving, right? And I
And
mentor women.
you got 3 whole things that you just mentioned that you're working on recently. That doesn't even include all the things that you've already done for.
No, it really doesn't. And I'm mentoring women in North Las Vegas jail. I want to get that in there too. It's very important that we mentor the women that are in prison, coming out of prison, domestic women going through domestic, Shade Tree, getting support, trying to go over there and support them to Salvation Army, Goodwill, all my partners that have been helping me the 5 years, the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, Local 12, Operators, Engineers, IBW, 669 Sprinkler Fitters, 872 Laborers. They have been partnered with me, and Sheet Metal's partnered with me now too. Those are the 5 trades that I've been partnered with for the last 5 years. And my staff, my members, everybody that's really been there in my corner with me pushing for this, and which brought me to International Lines of Women in Trades. And we're getting ready to take it to Nigeria next year. And just, I love what I do, y'all. I do. I love when I see a woman get into trades because Nevada Women Trades helped her. And now she feeds her family. Now she has the car. She go on vacation, and she's making almost 125,000 a year too, y'all. You know what I mean?
Graduation ceremonies that you're talking about that you mentioned earlier, like it was like one of like 1,000 things that you just mentioned. But were they part of the Nevada Women in Trades? How does a person graduate? Is that like, I want to know more about that.
So we came up with a 6-week curriculum. So in the 6-week curriculum, we make sure you tour with the 5 different unions. We teach you the math, because what's happened is the gatekeeping part is the math. Most trades have you take a math test. You don't pass the math test, you don't get an interview, you don't be able to get into the trades. That's exactly how it works. And so we came up with a good plan to make the women successful, and we help them with their resumes, interviewing. We go to the facilities so they can see what the trades do. Cause I like to see things too. You know, you gotta want to see what that crane looks like, or what that dump truck is doing, or how that pipe is welded together, or how that toilet flushes, right? I mean, right. I don't know. If I can see it, it's like, oh, wow. And then you get to meet the organization's people that are in there, right? That's going to probably sit down with you when you interview. So that's even makes you more calm. You know what I mean? Because you get kind of when you got to take a test or you got to do an interview. And even right now, we have 5 women that have graduated through our class, and there's 5 different trades. Like I said, we got 2 4th year. One's she's a 4th year in IBW. There's another 4th year in carpentry. We have a 2nd year in the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union. We have apprentice that's in 669, and we got another one that's getting ready to get into Operators Union. So we are doing it. You know what I mean?
You got some success stories there, it looks like, and I'm loving it. I love listening to all the story different. I'm sure there's a lot of different stories there that are telling us about all the different women that went through the program. And I love that you guys also adapted your programs to make sure that, and change them to make sure that women are successful with the programs that you guys are offering, like learning the math, because obviously a lot of people aren't that great at math in the community. So if you guys adapted your program to make that a little bit easier for them after they work really hard, and do you guys offer motivational stuff as well in those programs? to help.
Oh yeah, and just because you come to the program or whatever, even if you don't complete it or whatever, I still contact these ladies and all of that. And we still have ladies that did flagging too. There's ladies that didn't, pass the test, and again, they didn't pass it. Even by 1 point, you still don't get an interview. It doesn't matter, right? You just don't. But I'm still connected with these women that are, fourth year for 4 years now, and then I call the ladies. We go to the Women's Build Nations. We had one in DC last year, and it was so beautiful because two of the women that went through Nevada Women Trades was at that conference with me.
Right.
And it was that's historic in itself, y'all.
That is amazing. And all these goals that you guys have accomplished so far, are there any, you were talking about your future goals and what you're planning to do. Is there anything that we can get involved in, the viewers can get involved with to help support your organization right now?
I would really just spread the word, right? Go on www.nevada, spelled out, WIT.org. And that's our website. And it has our flyers on there. There's people we've met and, graduations we've had and support that way. And if there's any donations, because the ladies need boots too. We get the ladies boots when they graduate in our class. And
you are the super supporter. I love it.
You have to be. You have to be, right? This is not one strain of anything, right? You know what happens. You start something and all these, it starts getting different strains in it, right? And different legs and different things happen. And plus you got to think about it too, right? You can't just say, oh, here's a job. You got women that might need daycare. They might need how to figure out maybe something's going on with their mom, or maybe they need to find a place to live. You can't just say, oh, here's a job.
Right.
It just, that don't work.
Out there, you're looking for a career in trades. This is your perfect person. Evelyn is here for you, and so is her whole organization. If you've ever faced obstacles or doubts of even succeeding in it, I love it. I love all of it.
Yeah.
As someone who has broken barriers, for those people watching that are interested in becoming part of the organization or getting more words of encouragement, do you have any individuals that might have circumstances that they've gone through in the organization that you have them speak at your certain events, like your graduation events or anything similar to that we can, because you said there's an event at CSN, for example, if we're
every summit. Yes. Well, and that's the thing too, right? The women do, all the ladies that I've helped, that they have no problem talking to anybody for me. It's so beautiful when you can call on them. And even one lady's getting her CDL license right now. And she's like, Evelyn, you need me to get on there and talk anytime. No problem. You need me to go here. I'll speak anytime. Right. And so we have our class is called our pipeline class. We have it every October. Towards like the third week in October, we start our 6-week program in October. So if anybody, they can email me. Again, there's an email at info@Nevada, spelled out, WIT.org. That's info@Nevada, WIT.org. So you can get a hold of me there. You can get on our website. There you go. There it is, y'all. Trades is not hard, ladies. It helps with everything. There's a pension in there. You get benefits. You even get a college when you do the apprenticeship program because they're partnered with CSN, so you can get an AA degree out of it too. But the whole part of it, it's a career. It's not a job, and that's the best part of this, right? And then look what you do. You build stuff, y'all.
I love it. I love that so much. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Thank you for everything that you shared with us. It's been a blessing to be able to speak with you and learn from you and to ask you all these questions. I'm super excited. I want to get involved in your organization and just everything learn more about you and everything that you're doing. And I'm hoping I'm going to catch one of your events at CSN. Is there going to be another one soon? Because I know
We're gonna have, yes, we're gonna have one in September. We'll have our first one, but we're also looking at some side projects. Trying to do some trade training too. Hopefully, we're right now working on partner with Goodwill to have a class in June. So for those that want to do trade jobs, that's something that we're working on right now. So again, you need to email me so you can keep in touch with everything what I'm doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Go ahead and email Evelyn at that email one more time. What is the email? And is there a website we can also check out too that you specifically support?
So the email is info@Nevada, spelled out, WIT.org. And our website is www.nevada, spelled out, WIT.org.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.